We are joined by Dr. Samuel West. He is the creator of the Museum of Failure, and it's an exhibit is now showing in Calgary, right? And you, Dr. West, you are from Sweden, right?
Yeah, well, you start asking complicated questions right off the bat. I've lived in Sweden for most of my adult life. I'm from Iceland and California.
Very cool.
Okay, all right. So, and you're in Colombia
like a
now.
pretty strong.
And I'm in Colombia, and I have 3 passports. So yeah, it gets complicated.
Sweden, Iceland, and California. Just those are all 3 very cool places.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, that's me. I'm so cool.
You probably had a very interesting life.
You got to give us the story on why you decided to create the Museum of Failure.
I'm a psychologist. That's my basic. That's what I've been doing most of my life. And I got tired of meeting patients and as one does, and started a PhD and so doing research on innovation and how companies can increase, their abilities to innovate across sectors. And one thing I realized really quickly is that there's a lot of experts out there on innovation and creativity, and there's a lot of methods and processes and books and stuff. But at the end of the day, people are afraid of failing. People are afraid of taking a risk, and that's where I got the idea. Like if I can do something with the research on failure, learning from failure, and make it interesting, then maybe people can start accepting it better. That was a long-worded way to say I got really fed up with all the success stories around me, and thought that we do learn more from failure than we do from success. And
it's also a cool way of looking at history.
Yeah,
because you kind of look back. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember the easy squeeze ketchup bottles. Like
we have some guys. Yeah, no, we have some people come into. Mainly guys come into the museum, and they're like, they're my age, maybe 10 years older, and they like look around and go, oh, they point it. I had that. I bought that. That was mine. I'm like, oh, you're like a magnet for failed products.
Well, that's actually part of the reason why we sought you out to do an interview with you. We'll get into that a little bit more.
Oh no!
Actually, yeah, we're gonna put you to task here on something that you threw into the museum.
I regret doing this interview already.
What's your favorite piece in the exhibit?
I get that question a lot, and I hate that question. Because it's so difficult to choose I mean, I like the ones with a good story, but if I had to answer in a sound bite, I like the Olestra. You guys are all old enough to remember Olestra 96.
Okay, help me out here.
It was banned in Canada, so maybe it never made it up there. But it was Procter & Gamble made a low-calorie fat substitute.
Oh yeah.
Does that ring a bell?
Chips and stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
yeah.
Okay. And
so basically,
it was in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there was all and potato chips and junk food. Because
Okay.
finally, hallelujah, we can eat as much junk food as we want without getting fat. Right? This is like the holy grail of food science. The only problem was that it caused diarrhea.
That's usually my weight loss plan.
Yeah, and it gets better. It gets better. Apparently, the folks at Procter and Gamble, the marketing people and the media gurus, they thought that diarrhea was something negative to be associated with your food product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. They rebranded diarrhea and called it anal leakage.
Oh no, that's way worse.
Yes. We're actually not allowed to use that term on our show anymore. It's one of our banned expressions. So hey, we didn't say it, boss.
No.
Dr. West said it.
We kind of overused it for a while there.
Yeah. So anyway, you've kind of already answered this question. How often do people take you to task if they meet you in person and they've seen your exhibit that's in Calgary right now? It's the Museum of Failure. How often do they come up to you and go, why was that in there?
That thing was
I
awesome.
loved that. Yes.
that happens quite a bit. That people are like, hey, that wasn't a failure. So there's one that's there's a Nokia, the cell phone manufacturer. They made a gaming phone, and I can't remember now what year it was, like 2002, 3, whatever. And it's called the Nokia N Gauge, and it was a total commercial flop from Nokia. But people, when they bought it, these guys, when they bought them in their teens, they loved this device. So they come up and say, I get it that it was a commercial, but I love that thing, and then they get mad at me and we have an argument about it.
I wanted one of those.
You remember that?
That and the Sega Dreamcast. I really wanted a Dreamcast, which was a massive
anything
failure
else
as well.
you wanted?
It's probably at the exhibit in Calgary right now. This thing travels around, doesn't it?
It does
It's
travel
been-
around. It's traveled everywhere. Right. Most recently in the United States, it was in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And then it now opened in Calgary, Canada, and it looks like it's going on tour in Canada.
So it's good. Yeah, you just created it, and you probably got a
Yeah.
group that actually puts the work into getting it into different museums.
Yeah, it's this whole idea of the whole business of renting places and marketing stuff. That's not I'm a nerd. I can't do that stuff. So
I get it.
which means I don't get any money off of it either, which also sucks. But
So the one thing that we were quite offended was in the Museum of Failure was lawn darts.
Here we go. Come
The
on, hit
lawn
me.
darts. What are they doing in there?
They killed little kids. What do you mean? What are they doing in there? Are you an idiot? The lawn darts were dangerous. They were banned because they I don't know.
Yeah,
if they
well,
killed-
that's why you
like
put a
two
helmet
kids-
on.
And that's
Yeah.
why you have parental supervision.
Oh,
We'll give you a
geez.
background story, Dr. West. We have an
yeah,
annual,
give me that story. now.
we have an annual tournament that we do called the Locker Room Illegal Lawn Darts Tournament. And I saw a story about your Museum of Failure, and so I was curious. So I started going through some of the items, and it looks like it would be a really fun thing to do. Buy a ticket and go through it in an afternoon, and it's in Calgary right now. The exhibit's in Calgary. But then I was like, I'm flipping through the web page where you have sort of a breakdown on some of the items, and I saw lawn darts, and I'm like, that son of a, we're gonna get him on the show, and we're gonna hold him to task about putting lawn darts into the Museum of Failure. Anyway,
I guess if the yards, they're called yards, by the way.
okay, is that what they call them? Because in
Darts.
Canada we just call them lawn darts. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do you guys have the real version or
Yeah.
the fake?
Well,
the
okay,
fake,
no,
the fake secure version for dumb people.
but no, we don't have the ones with just the weights on the end of them. We have ones we bought from a company in the UK who has since gone out of business, called Crown. They're called Crown darts, and they're not really sharp on the end, so they're not like missiles, but
now
they
you
still.
guys you're amateurs. If you want the real thing, you got to get the illegal version, which has
Yes.
this spike, this extremely heavy, and it's not very sharp, but it's sharp enough to break your
To go
skull.
through your head. Yeah.
Yeah, if
Yeah, there's
you guys
pictures
are
online.
playing with some plastic stuff, I don't know. Nah.
But the thing is, though, is the ones that we have aren't all that safe either, because we consume alcohol while doing stand-up,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and we have a little person that wears body armor and a helmet so that nobody can kill him. And I'm the little person.
Listen, we really appreciate your time, Dr. West. If we're in Calgary, I'm going out of my way to go down to the Museum of Failure. And listen, you enjoy your time in Colombia.
Thank you very much. You guys be safe with those long darts. I would encourage you next time to add something sharp to the end of them to make it more interesting.
We'll follow them down for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then send you a video.
And then put razor blades on the end.
Yeah. Listen,
Thank you,
send us
guys.
the address of your Airbnb in
We'll be
Colombia.
there. You'll love us.
Take care, Dr. West. Nice meeting you.
The Locker Room,
Brought to you by Always Plumbing and Heating.
weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.